Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. So very happy to be with you today. And today I am in Florida. I'm in Florida visiting with my husband's family. It's the beginning of Thanksgiving week, and boy, am I feeling all kinds of gratitude. I hope you are too. It's nice to take a moment to pause. That as you see in the intro of Dreamleapers Inspiration, we pause together here. We pause and reflect and just work to fill our spirits with the greatest energy, right? Isn't that what we do? And part of pausing and filling our cup is surrounding ourselves with love, surrounding ourselves with people we love, with moments that we love, with the intention of experiencing and sharing love. And that's what happens for me, especially during the Thanksgiving season. For many, 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 many years, my husband and I, and then our daughter, who is about to be 19, uh, have come here to visit with my husband's family. And there are many bonuses to that, including in November in New York City, it can be cold. It is warm here. I think it's about 72 degrees here today, and we are grateful. My daughter goes to school in cold weather climate. She said it was 12 degrees yesterday. She will be joining us soon. So, what do you think? 12 degrees or 72? We are grateful. We are grateful. This is the season of gratitude. So, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today in the spirit of gratitude. And the focus for today's engagement is count your blessings. And that quote, for I'm sure many people say it, but for me, who said it over and over and over and continues to say it now, is my mother, Doris Cole. So, really, the most important quote for me today is my mother's quote, count your blessings. And we're going to talk about that. My mother is now 93 years old. She's still a bright light, incredible spirit, and she has some physical and cognitive compromises. These things happen for some people at her age, and I'm not going to say all, but certainly for her. And yet, the joy that she experiences, I think, on a daily basis is immeasurable. She accesses joy all the time. And I remember speaking to her a few months ago, and she was having a physical challenge. And I asked her how she was doing. She said, I'm making the best of what I've got, and I'm grateful for it. I wanted us to think about that for a moment. Do you make the best of what you've got? Are you grateful for what you have? Are you coming from a perspective of gratitude as you live your life? I want you to think about that. Is that true about you? Are you taking the time to pause and notice whatever is around you for which you should be grateful? I think this is an important question because sometimes we are so busy that we don't take the time, the time to say, wow, am I noticing? Like they say, can you stop and smell the roses? Well, what are the roses for you? And do you stop? Do you stop and notice the things that make your life sweeter? I want to say that many people do not. Many people are so busy, so pressed, so stressed that it's putting one foot in front of the other. It's kind of this fast-paced machine that we find ourselves on, like that fast treadmill. And when we stop, what happens? I'm going to tell you what happens for a lot of us. When we pause, people often get sick because, oh, suddenly you allowed yourself to be still for a moment. If you've been going, 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 so then if you're sick, you can't, it's hard to notice what you want to be grateful for because things fall apart, right? That isn't the goal. That isn't the goal that I'm suggesting we want to have top of mind as we are moving through each day. I want us to pause, be still, take a deep breath, be present, and notice what's right in front of our face. What's in front of your face right now? What do you see? Okay, you're looking at your device, but what else? What is around you? What's surrounding you? What people are surrounding you? In this season of gratitude, what do you see right now that makes you feel grateful? Can you write something down? Something that you see right now that makes you feel grateful? I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at the window right now at my sister in law's house, and I literally see palm trees blowing in the wind. That is amazing. I don't live in a place with palm trees. I'm looking at palm trees and they're blowing in the wind. And that makes me grateful right now. What else makes me grateful right now? Being with family. My daughter's on her way here. My mother in law, who's 88 years old, made some good ackee and saltfish yesterday, and we enjoyed it. And I'm just saying it out loud makes me taste it one more time. What are you grateful for right now? I'm asking you, it could be anything. Just what is it? What makes you feel nourished on the inside because you are noticing it right this minute? When we stop and notice the things that make us grateful, it sweetens our day. Like I said about my mother, I mean, the she has things she could complain about and she chooses not to consistently. She chooses to find the positive in whatever the situation may be. Now, when you don't do that, you can fall into sadness, you can fall into depression, you can fall into anger, you can fall into self pity. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever, why is this happening to me? Do you ever ask yourself that question? I certainly do. When things are going all kind of wrong and I'm putting forth a tremendous amount of effort, doing everything that I can in order to make whatever I'm working on work, and it doesn't work, and I fall far short of whatever the goal was, or the people working with me fall short of whatever the goal was, it can be very, very difficult in moments like that to see joy, to find happiness, to find the sweetness when it doesn't feel sweet. It can be very difficult to look at a situation that is really uncomfortable, especially if you are part of the reason why some negativity is occurring. Because that's when we want to push it away and say, no, it's somebody else's fault. It's not, I didn't do that. Or if I did it, it's because somebody did something. It can't just be me. That finger pointing that we've talked about often. When you point your finger and blame somebody else, turn that finger around and ask yourself, what's my role in this? And interestingly enough, in that self evaluation, when you are working to figure out what can I learn from it, from a moment that may be a challenging moment, you can extract joy because you've learned a lesson. Now, it may not seem like it in the moment. It may seem like, you might be saying right now, Harriet, are you crazy? We're not supposed to say that word, but you might be thinking it. What is wrong with you, Harriet? How could you possibly have that as a thought when I'm frustrated, when challenging things are happening, when when how when that happens, when that happens to you, when you feel like everything is going downhill, how do you then turn it around? So my mother says, literally count your blessings. So let's try it. If you're feeling frustrated, feeling negativity, any of those things that could be happening, right now. If anybody's feeling it, it's okay. Allow yourself to feel it. And then take a breath and you look around. Again, like I said, what do I see? I see palm trees blowing in the wind. And so I'm grateful for them. My mother would say, take a pad and a pencil and write it down. When you are feeling stuck, when you're feeling brittle, when you're feeling that negativity, write it down. So I'm writing down palm trees. I'm writing down short sleeves because in New York City where I live, you're not wearing short sleeves today. I'm writing down family. What are you writing down? What can you count as blessings right now, as simple or large as they may be? What can you write down right this minute? So my mother's wisdom on that, count your blessings, is if you literally write down something for which you are grateful, it softens you. So it could be, I woke up this morning. I was able to get out of bed. I turned on this broadcast so that I could be with like minded people. I had a wonderful meal. I'm going to the grocery store later so I can make some food for Thanksgiving. Whatever it is, what's on your list? Count your blessings and write it down. I'm grateful that my family is with me. I'm grateful that I can call my family that's in other places. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. There's so many things that we take for granted up until they're in jeopardy. And a lot of people right now know so many people who are in flux. Many people at this time of year, when we're transitioning from one year to the next, we're spending a lot of time with family. We are, there's a lot that stirs. The working could not be as secure as it was maybe a year ago. Many people are in flux in terms of having a job, losing a job, contracts ending, businesses closing. Many people are facing health challenges. I just got a message from my sorority sisters, my line sisters, that there is a member of our line who's very ill. We were all just together a few weeks ago at Howard's homecoming, and she's very ill. So we're creating a prayer circle. I am grateful for the awareness that we all have so that we can create a prayer circle for this beloved member of our sorority. We could simply be sad. We could be lamenting, why her? But what good would come of that? Nothing. So instead, what we're doing is joining forces using technology so that we can be together and share our love and support and blessings and consciously pray for her health. So if you believe in prayer, you know what I'm talking about. The power of prayer is palpable. Using technology today helps us to connect in ways that we couldn't do just a few years ago. So I'm grateful for the technology too. I want you to think about this. Do you understand the layers of gratitude that I'm pointing out to us? Grateful for the technology, grateful for the community of women who are sharing our love and support for this one woman who is ill. Grateful for the conscious intention of coming together, somebody being organized enough to make a date and a time and a link so that we can all join together. Simple. It could, you might listen to me and go, whatever, Harriet, that's a simple thing. I'm going to say simple things are often the things that make the world work. And I am grateful that somebody else organized that so that I could participate. And when I say it out loud, it helps my spirit to feel just a little lighter. And so this is what I want you to think about. What can you do that can make your spirit feel lighter when you may be feeling a little sadness, um, a little discomfort. So there, I told you my mother's quote, count your blessings, but there's another quote that I want to share with you. And it is, it's not joy that makes us grateful. It's gratitude that makes us joyful. Let me say it again. It's not joy that makes us grateful. It's gratitude that makes us joyful. Do you see the difference? And that is from Brother David Steindl Rast. Hope I said his name right. Let me say it to you one more time. It's not joy that makes us grateful. It's gratitude that makes us joyful. Do you see how? So sometimes, well, as soon as I'm happy, as soon as something great happens, then I'm going to be happy. Well, is that the right attitude? That's not my mother's attitude. She practices joy. Like joy is a verb in her world. And according to Brother Steiner Rest, it is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. Practicing gratitude, counting our blessings, noticing the great stuff that's right in front of our face. Noticing the little teeny things that make our life simpler, that make our life more fulfilling, even when the simple thing may be a lesson. Now, that's a hard one, everybody. When it is a lesson, I just talked about this a moment ago, but I want to revisit it. When it is a lesson, we need to learn something tough, when something we perceive as bad happens to us, when something that we did wrong, or we believe even more, somebody did something wrong to us, and we're holding on. So and so did this to me, and I'm mad. I hold a grudge. There are people who are proud of it. I hold a grudge. I don't let stuff go. I remember. And then we hear, oh, it's really good for you to let those things go. Why is it good for me to let something go? Because it can create peace in your life. When you're in the swirl of stuff that's not working really well, it can be so incredibly difficult for you to believe that letting go and allowing yourself to be free of the negativity is a blessing. Think about that. Allowing yourself to be free of negativity that you were holding on to is a blessing. I'm going to give you an example. There's a woman who I grew up with who, when we were kids, was mean to me. I recently learned that she wasn't just mean to me, she was mean to at least one other person who was part of my friend group. And the person who revealed this to me just in the past 6 or 8 months, a sweet, sweet, sweet woman, she got all kinds of fiery when we started talking about this other person. She was so mean. I will never be her friend again. It was hot. Okay, we are grown women holding on to stuff from when we were in junior high school. That's what we called it when I was there. It's middle school for some of y'all. We were remembering things that took us back into these old experiences and stirred up all the negativity and venom. We were mad, both of us. We were mad at this woman for things she had done and said to us when we were children. And they happened. They were real. We're not making it up. They happened. And then I talked to my sister Stephanie about it. I told her before, this is what this woman did to me. And she says, well, that's not my experience of her at all, Harriet. She said, would you consider taking another look at her? Because she says, I have known her all of my adult life, and she has been wonderful. She is generous. I told you, my mother's 93. There's a group of women and one man who are all in their 90s, who have remained friends, and the children of these adult children of these people are helping to care for them. My sister said, you couldn't get a better caretaker than this woman. You couldn't get a more joyful caretaker than this woman. She's like, I believe that these things happened, Harriet, that she did and said the things to you that you are telling me. I believe you're telling me the truth. And I also want to say to you, she's not like that now. And I want you to take another look at her. Let go of whatever you're holding on to from the past and see her now. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can do that. You get on your high horse. I don't know if I can do that. And I just talked to my other friend who said, I'm never going to forgive her. I mean, it was venomous, the holding on to this memory from childhood. And then I didn't think about it anymore because it's not like we hold on to these things consciously every moment. It was a conversation a few months ago. And then I saw this woman recently. And can I tell you, she was sweet as pie. She was lovely. All that I experienced when being in her company was joy. Simply joy. An infusion of joy. Like her being in the space made it a more joyful moment. And afterward, my sister Stephanie, who's one of the sweetest people in the world, said to me, do you see what I mean? Do you see? She said, I don't know what it was, what happened years ago when you were, 12. But today, she's sweet. She's light. She's love. She's joy. And it was true. It was true. And so I realized in that moment, I fully let go of the stuff that I can't say I was carrying around on my shoulders, but I would think about it occasionally, and I was guarded with this person because of the past. And there's no need to do that. And I realized no need to do that. Let that go. Think about this for a moment. What I just described to you from when I was 12, I'm not 12 anymore. Why in the world did it take that long to let that go? Now, again, to be fair, I didn't think about it much. I don't think about her much. It wasn't a burden I was carrying around, but it was still there. I mention this story because I know I'm not alone. There are things that we hold on to that become burdensome. That can be burdens on our spirit. That can be burdens on our health, burdens on our relationship. If you think a little differently about your experiences and choose to count your blessings in the moment, there's not as much room in that moment for you to hold on to stuff. So think about it. If you are doing what my mom said, you're counting your blessings. What are we counting our blessings for today? What are you counting your blessings for today? What in this moment is bringing you joy? Remember, if it's your attitude of gratitude that brings joy, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? It could be anything. I want you to make your own list. What are you grateful for? When you physically start making the list, you have to release some other things. There's not room for you to carry all the negative stuff and make space for the gratitude list. So one thing you may want to do, this can help, because I just dredged up that old experience, but it's gone. So I could share it with you. It's a process story. I don't have not a negative thought in my being about this woman anymore. How can you let go of those things? I say write them down too. If there's some things that are bothering you that you know your spirit isn't right with, write it down. And then take that piece of paper with those things on it, ball it up, and I want to say burn it. Burn it. Make a prayer. Offer that negative stuff to the fire of grace. Ask for God's grace to let it go. This is not figurative. I want you to do this. I want you to make that list. What are the things that you aren't serving you? What are the things that are weighing you down? What are the things that make you feel stuck? What are those negative thoughts and feelings and relationships that are making it impossible for you to just have peace right now? Right now. Write it down. Then ball it up and set it on fire safely, please. You put it in the sink, put fire on it. And then as it burns, offer a prayer of gratitude that you identified those things and you're going to release them right now. Does this work? Yes, it really works. Letting go and counting your blessings work. They work together. And what happens is you access joy. Joy doesn't mean happiness. You could be going through stuff. We are all going through something. I am not saying that thing that many of us mistakenly do. Oh, when I get here, when I get to that point, that's when I'll be happy. No. In this moment, whatever you're going through, you can access joy. Your attitude is what helps you to get there. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. Being grateful for this moment. Going back to my mother, I could talk about her. I do talk about her every day. Her joy is palpable. She gives you that smile, and you feel sunshine inside and out. Imagine that you have the capacity to ignite joy in others with a smile, with a genuine smile, with a smile in your eyes, making eye contact and offering a loving glance. Literally, you can bring joy to another. You can share joy with another by offering that. And so when you don't do that, when you get stuck in negativity, in woe is me, in thoughts that aren't serving you, where do you end up? Is that good for you? I'm going to say no. So this week, Thanksgiving week, give thanks. Make a gratitude list every day. What are you grateful for right now? You can do it in the morning when you wake up. You can do it at night at the end of your day. What are you grateful for right now? Savor that. Be grateful for the people that you see and that you engage, the food that you eat, the place where you find yourself, right? The lessons that you're learning, even if they're tough lessons. Be grateful for the presence of mind to pay attention to whatever's going on in your world. Practice gratitude by counting your blessings. If you do that, you will find that there's sweetness that will come in your life in the day, in the moment. And you'll be like, thank you. Thank you for that sweetness, for that moment of sweetness. Thank you for that moment of awareness. Thank you for allowing me to experience love. Thank you for allowing me to see grace manifest in my life. Thank you. So I say to all of you, thank you for being with me. Thank you for promising to count your blessings every day this week. During this time of Thanksgiving, thank yourself for giving yourself the gift of awareness. Awareness of yourself, of your surroundings, of the people you love, of the moment you're in. When you have that attitude of gratitude, you will access joy. Thank you so much for being with me. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.